students absent today. So again, I'm going to say that I'm just going to kind of review what you guys have learned about graphing in the last week. This is not your homework, but again, this will show you how to do your homework. So here's a graph, and I've conveniently labeled it for you. I've already put down the values for the x, and I've put down the values for the y-axis. And then I should pull a stick here and ask somebody, what does that point stand for right there, Miss Harley? What is that? Oh man, you should just know it. Mr. Orweller. Origin. And then what's the coordinates of the origin?
0, 0.
Nicely done, 0, 0. You should all know that just automatically. That's the origin right there. Okay, that's the bottom left corner of the graphs that you guys end up creating or working. So put up 50 points. All right. So what's it say here? It says red, and then player one. Every 3 games, there's 2 wins. So there's, I don't know, maybe they're playing Fortnite or what, who knows what kind of game they're playing. But every 3 games they play, they win twice. Now, notice that I did put red, and then on the other side here, I put yellow. So when you guys actually do your assignment, you guys are going to have to use colored pens or colored pencils. I would suggest colored pencils because if you make a mistake, then you can erase it. If you use a colored pen, you're going to ruin your graph. If you make a mistake, you won't be able to erase it. All right? So I want you guys, you would graph this. All right? Mr. Alchemy, you should be looking up here paying attention. No, you weren't looking up there paying attention. You were doing something else. All right, so I'm going to label these points here. So every 3 games, there's 2 wins. Well, notice the x-axis is talking about the number of games played, and the y-axis is about the number of wins. And so every 3 games, so I'm going to go over 3. And notice there isn't a 3 on there, but we know that 3 is going to be between 2 and 4. And there's 2 wins. Erase points. So we would go up to 2 wins and put a dot right about there, which would fall right between 2 and 4. So now we need to go over 3 more games played and then go up for 2 more wins. So it would be 1, 2, 3. So it would be 6 games that have now been played. And 2 more wins. So I'm going to go from 6 up 2 more. So it would be right here. And you could label these as you go, but I would actually wait until you draw the lines. Okay? Because you don't want, you're not sure how close the lines are going to come together, and if your labels should be below the dots or above the dots or next to the dots on the left or right side. Neatness counts on this. That's part of your grade. It needs to be legible. By that I mean I need to be able to read it. So what's the next one? 3 games. So I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3. So it's right there between 8 and 10, which would be 9. And then 2 more wins. So 4, 5, 6. So there's my 3rd dot. And then I'll go over once more. We'll do 4. So again, 3 games. 1, 2, 3. It's going to be right there where the 12 is. And then up 2 more wins. 1, 2. There we go. So now I'm going to, and you guys will use a straight edge. If you do it by hand, I'll take away points for your assignment. Use a straight edge. All right? And so I'll start at the origin, and I'll draw my line. Here's a nice little thin one right here. And I'm going to go through the dots and just extend it a little ways. You guys can do the same. Okay, questions on that, anybody? No? Okay, all right. Well, now I'm going to switch to yellow, and again, you guys can't use just pencils for this. You're going to have to use colored pencils or pens, and again, I would suggest colored pencils. That way, if you make a mistake, you can correct it. So yellow, player 2, for every 2 games, they have 1.5 wins. So here's the number of games played. That's the first value, so there's 2, and then go up 1.5. Well, where's 1.5? It's going to be right about there. Okay? And then again, I'm going to go over 2 games. So 2 to 4, and then I'm going to go up 1.5. So it's right here, and I'm going to go 1.5. So I'll go, it would be 1 and then 0.5. So it would be right there at 3. So it looks like this is going to be pretty close. And then again, I'm going to go over 2 games to 6 and go up 1.5. So it would be where? It would be 2 games here and then up 1.5. So it would be right there. And then again, go over 2 games to 8 and go up 1.5. So here's 1, and then 0.5 would be half. So it's going to be 8 and 6. Whoops, shouldn't have erased that one. 6 and 8, right there. There's 4. I'll go one more here. Again, 2 games over to 10 and go up 1.5. So it would be, here's 1, and then halfway, that's the 0.5. And it would go right there. So I'll stop there, and now I'm going to draw my straight line. And I'll start at the origin, and I'll go through my dots. And I'll extend it a little ways. There we go. Now, you're going to need to label the points. And when you label the points, depending on your graph, so let's say maybe a line, maybe the red line went like this. Well, then you could, and here's your points like this. And you could just label your points, write the coordinates, whatever they are, right above each one. That would be fine. Or I suppose you could have done it below each one is fine. Okay, that would be perfectly acceptable. Probably don't want to do it next to them, because if you do it next to them, what happens? The line is kind of going through what you're writing. Okay, it would look kind of sloppy, so you don't want to do that. So again, you want to label your points and draw your lines, and then, you want to mark your points, draw your lines, and then label them. So I'm going to come over here to the yellow. What's the first point on the yellow? It's going to be 2 and then 1.5. 2, 1.5. That's the first one. What's the next one? 4 and 3. So I could put 4, 3. What's the next one? 6 and 4.5. 6, 4.5. There's always a comma between your points, and I'll do one more. Last one is going to be 8 and 6. I'll put 8, 6. So I'm labeling each one. Notice I'm labeling, in this case, I'm labeling the yellow dots on the left side. Okay? Wouldn't make any sense for me now to continue labeling with the red over here. Like the first point on the red is 3 and 2. Well, if I wrote 3, 2, notice how it's getting sloppy and it's all crammed together? I don't want to do that. I don't want you guys to do it either. I want to be able to read your graphs. I would do it on the right side. So the first point is 3, 2. So I'll put 3, 2. The next point is 6 and 4. 6, 4. What's the next point, Ms. Gossage? Okay. Ms. Sense, she's not here. Mr. Lestore, what's the next point?
9, 6.
9, 6. 9, 6. Put up 50 points. What's the last point? Mr. Williams.
12, 8.
Nicely done. Put up 50 points. 12, 8. Okay.
What is the year group census making?
So this is what I want you guys to do. Now the handout that I'm going to give you has a graph like this, but it's not labeled. When I say it's not labeled, I mean I haven't numbered it for you. Yeah, 50 points, Mr. Williams. And then there's a couple questions I want you guys to answer on your graph. And so you need to mark the points, draw the lines, label the points, and then answer the 2 questions. So if we were to look at this and I was to ask a couple questions, I might ask, I'll just give you guys your handout. So, questions on this, anybody? All right. I'm going to end this video.